Al-Shura quotes verses 128 to 135. When they disobeyed their messenger, Allah punished them by sending a stormy wind that was loaded with sands and dust, and it covered them completely and destroyed them. Allah says in the Quran what means, and as for Ad, they were destroyed by a fierce roaring wind. Surat al-Haqqa the reality, verse 6, the main points that mentioned about Ad in the Quran. 1. The people of Ad lived in Al-Aqaf, which means the dunes, and the historians say that it is located between Yemen and Oman. 2. Ad's people were having groves, livestock, and streams. 3. Ad's people built an enormous city called Iram, which had tremendous palaces and huge pillars. That is why Allah has described it in the Quran as Iram, the city with huge pillars. 4. When they accused Ad of lying, Allah sent a stormy wind loaded with dust that killed them and immersed their city in sands. The archaeological finds of the city of Iram at the beginning of 1990, there appeared press releases in the well-known newspapers of the world declaring, fabled lost Arabian city found, Arabian city of legend found, the Atlantis of the sands, UR. What rendered this archaeological finds more intriguing was the fact that this city was also referred to in the Quran. Many people who, since then, thought that Ad, recounted in the Quran, was a legend, or that their location could never be found, could not conceal their astonishment at this discovery. The discovery of this city, which was only mentioned in oral stories of the dunes, aroused great interest and curiosity. It was Nicholas Clapp, an amateur archaeologist, who found this legendary city that was mentioned in the Quran. 1. Being an Arabophile and documentary filmmaker winner, Clapp had come across a very interesting book during his research on Arabian history. This book was Arabia Felix, written by the English researcher Bertram Thomas in 1932. Arabia Felix was the Roman designation for the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula, which today includes Yemen and much of Oman. The Greeks called this area Eudaimon Arabia, and medieval Arab scholars called it Al-Yaman, as Al said. 2. All of these names mean Fortunate Arabia, because the people living in that region in old times were known to be the most fortunate people in their time. Well, what was the reason for such a designation? Their good fortune was in part due to their strategic location serving as middlemen in the spice trade between India and places north of the Arabian Peninsula. Besides, the people living in this region produced and distributed frankincense, an aromatic resin from rare trees. Being highly favored by the ancient communities, this plant was used as a fumigant in various religious rites. In those times, the plant was at least as valuable as gold. The English researcher Thomas described these lucky tribes at length and claimed that he found the traces of an ancient city founded by one of these tribes. 3. This was the city known as Ur, by the Dunes. In one of the trips he made to the region, the Dunes, living in the desert, had shown him well-worn tracks and stated that these tracks led toward the ancient city of Ur. Thomas, who showed great interest in the subject, died before being able to complete his research.